Hey YouTube, welcome to the very first episode of RV High Altitude, the show where we go ahead and take my 1975 Winnebago and seek out some of the most remote high altitude spots in the Colorado Rockies. You see, I'm lucky enough to have a semi-permanent parking spot at about 6,800 feet up in the Colorado Rockies, and I'm also lucky enough to live about 20 miles away from the Flat Tops Wilderness National Park, and that's home of the Flat Tops mountain range. Some of those mountains are over 12,000 feet tall, and so we'll probably not get the camper that high. But there's lots of cool little roads that snake through the national park up there through the mountains, and we're going to go ahead and explore those this summer and see what kind of high altitude spots we can find to camp in. Each episode I'm going to go ahead and introduce the spot that I found by the name and by the altitude, and I'm also going to give you the GPS coordinates in case you want to go there with your RV. After that, we'll go ahead and take a good long look around, check out all the scenery, any wildlife, look and see if there's a little lake there, just anything that looks cool. We'll go ahead and check it out, and there's plenty of stuff. It's gorgeous up there. And after we take a good look around, we're going to go ahead and kind of look at the camping spot that I've found, and talk about it and see if I had to like level out the RV, or if there's a fire ring there maybe, or any kind of amenities that might be at the spot, like if there's a little creek running by or something. If it's a finished campground, we'll see if maybe there's some RV hookups or a dump station or anything like that. We'll go ahead and take a look at the camping spot itself. After we do that, I'm going to go ahead and do a technical segment, and that'll kind of have to do with stuff you might want to do to your RV to make it safe and functional in a high altitude environment. Also, it might have to do with stuff you might want to take with you to make you safe and functional in a high altitude environment. And that's kind of going to wrap up each episode. Before we get going on the very first one though, I wanted to talk a little bit about my other RV series on YouTube, RV Tips for People with Physical Limitations. All you fans of that can know I'm folding that series over into this series, because although I'm able to take the motorhome up into the mountains, I'm still not 100% yet after my surgeries. In fact, I had an MRI this morning. So anyway, there'll be some tips, and I'll sprinkle those in into the new series, RV High Altitude. Alright, that being said, let's go ahead and get on with our very first episode. It's going to be a little short because of time, but you'll kind of get the idea. Alright YouTube, for our very first episode, we're on a shakedown cruise here at Stagecoach Reservoir State Park. It's about 15 miles south of Steamboat Springs at an altitude of 7,204 feet above sea level. And we are at north 40 degrees 16 minutes 48.31 seconds, west 106 degrees 51 minutes 42.52 seconds, and we are here on a shakedown cruise. I'll explain more what that is here in a few minutes, but this is a gorgeous place. Let's go ahead and take a look around. Alright, let's start out with a nice panorama shot. That pointy mountain right there is Blacktail Mountain. We're starting to pan around, and you can kind of see the campground we're in. It is a finished campground here at the state park. There is the Stagecoach Reservoir right on the other side of the trees and the campers there. It was formed when a small hydroelectric dam was constructed on the Yampa River here. Back up behind my camper there, you can see the Sarvis Creek area. There's actually a failed ski resort back up in there. You can kind of see on the top of those little pointy mountains. And we're coming around now looking towards Woodchuck Hill, and way in the back there are the Flat Tops, where we're going to be going next episode. We'll have a little bit better picture of them in a minute. Even though it's a little bit crowded, Stagecoach Reservoir is a great place to visit. There's zones in the lake that are set up specifically for speedboats and jet skis, and other areas that are no-wake zones that are set up specifically for fishing. My buddy CJ actually caught an 18-inch lake trout right where this photograph here was taken. Last fall he did that. You just have to be patient and wait till the right time of day, and then the fish are biting. Here's a good picture of dusk, and that's right when they're biting. Anyway, here is the Flat Tops mountain range where we're going to be going next episode and all summer long. Wow, look at those peaks. We'll be there soon. Alright, what a gorgeous place. Alright, well, it's time to take a good look around the camping spot itself. We're here at actually it's an improved camping area here at Stagecoach Reservoir. This part of the camping area is called Junction City. And let me go ahead and show you around. Alright, so each camping spot has a nice gravel pad on it for you to park on. This one is level, but a lot of the other spots I noticed people were using their leveling gear. Also, if you have a camper more than 30 feet long, you might not fit into a lot of the spots here at Stagecoach. There are 30 amp hookups at every camping spot here at Stagecoach. If your rig has a 50 amp setup, you're going to have to remember to bring your converter or else you won't be able to plug in. Each site also comes with one of these cool steel fire pits with the flip over barbecue grill so you can cook your burgers or heat your coffee. You also get a nice picnic table to eat your burgers at. However, there is one big problem at this camping site I should tell you about. Serious bugs here at Stagecoach Reservoir. Probably because I'm right down near the lake, but as you can see there's tons of bugs just flying around, and they all look like big mean mosquitoes. Almost afraid to go outside, but I'll go out and light a fire here in the fire pit and it'll probably run off all the bugs. But wow, there's serious more bugs. Look at these bugs. Well, luckily the campfire took care of the bugs. A couple other things you could know about the campground are there's an RV dump station at the beginning of the park for you to use. There's also a few dumpsters around to get rid of your trash at. There's also a potable water spigot within 50 feet of each camping spot. You can go over with your bucket or go over and hook up with a hose and fill up your fresh water tanks if you want. Okay, so that was a look around the campground here at Stagecoach Reservoir. I have to say I like it here. It is a little expensive at $27 a night, and it actually is a little bit crowded here, even though it's a weekday. But the amenities, like the electrical hookup for RVs right at the camp spot, the dump station at the beginning of the park, even the fire pit with the grill on it, are great little amenities. And the fishing is fantastic. And the gorgeous view here makes it a nice place to stay. I like it. Now, on to the technical portion of our first episode. As you heard me say earlier, I'm out here on a shakedown cruise. I'm actually only about 10 miles from my normal parking spot. The reason that I'm camping so close is because I wanted to put a few miles on the RV and then stop somewhere and camp so that I could make sure all the systems on the RV are working. Because as a lot of you know, sometimes things work in the driveway and then they don't work at the camping area. So what I like to do is put a few miles on and then stop somewhere and check the RV systems and make sure things are working right. Some of the systems that I like to check are this. You want to go ahead and take a look at the back of your hot water heater here and make sure there's no cobwebs either in the flue or back by the propane burner. For some reason, spiders love propane. Also check the relief valve and make sure the thing lights up and the pilot light stays lit. You also want to check your propane system and make sure that your regulator is working properly and properly secured to your tank. Oops, it looks like I forgot to put one of my tanks in. I'm glad I looked before I headed up into the mountain. You also want to check out your battery pack and make sure that there's no corrosion at your terminals and make sure that the batteries aren't cracked or leaking. That can be real dangerous. You want to go ahead and check your generator and make sure it starts easy, and also make sure that you take plenty of fuel with you. It's a major bummer to be up in the forest and not be able to power your motorhome or charge your batteries because you didn't put any gas in the gas can. You want to get out your pressure gauge and make sure all your tires are still at the proper pressure, and do a visual inspection and make sure that there's no cracks or bulges. You want to check all the lights on your rig and make sure that they're working too. You want to pull out your entire shore power electrical cord and plug it in and make sure that it's working properly and undamaged. Oh, I just found a creepy mouse nest in mine. Oh, glad I checked that and got rid of it. Ooh. Okay, you can see where I'm going with this. Basically, you want to check everything on your RV. From the engine belts up in the front of your motorhome or tow vehicle to make sure you're not going to break down in the middle of nowhere, to the heating system in your camper to make sure it's working right, because up here in the Colorado Rockies, it can get down to freezing even in the summertime. So you want to make sure that works. Even also the smaller systems in your RV, like the vent hood fan above the range in your kitchen. Just everything. You want to check everything on the camper. It might take an hour or two, but it will definitely be worth it when you're camping up in the boondocks and everything on your camper works. Okay, well that pretty much wraps up this very first episode of RV High Altitude. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next time. We'll be at Trout Creek up in the Flat Tops Wilderness National Park. So it's going to be a great show. Thanks again for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. You could give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. You could even tell your family and friends about my videos if you think they would like them. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on RV High Altitude.
Oh.